talk about, but I don't know. It might all be completely inane. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh,
I'm streaming now, so
oh, I'm streaming now too. I don't have. I've got a. Oh, in a minute, I'll pull up your window as a subset of mine, so I know people who can only watch on like a tablet like to see both. But one second,
yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. I mean, I've also pulled up yours. I've put it where you can do no harm, which is really nowhere.
I was gonna
Now that I
say,
think about
which
it.
is above all else what I attempt to do know of. Not really.
Hmm.
I'm not a doctor.
Hello,
Um,
stream. How are you doing? Um, Stream loot cards are turned off for my chat because Joe didn't sign into that. So
yeah, I
yeah,
don't know what that
I've got them
is.
turned up. So that's fine. You didn't sign up for that, so that's
If
fine.
that's like
Which
showing
means I've got
ads, then I appreciate you not showing ads on my stream.
it's not showing ads. It's getting people to interact with my stream,
Oh,
which it's fine. You didn't sign up for that, but that means we've got Christmas Cleo in the corner for like this
oh,
whole time.
have a holly
So
jolly Cleo. Uh,
yeah, mostly they can just change my skins. I'll probably set that up for next week, but I didn't have time to change the
okay.
cards this for today's stream. So
So
hello.
hello. Some of you may remember last week we didn't have the camera working, so we were rotating Cleo instead of messing with
Oh, I'd
me.
forgotten about that. Have you got your camera sorted?
Oh my gosh, maybe I think okay, so this is one of the stupid rabbit holes we can go down today. Um
Oh, good.
so I got the new graphics card and
Mm-hmm.
everything seemed like it was going pretty well, and then my camera died, and when I
Right.
after I replaced the camera, which is way higher quality and better in a lot of ways, um, my NVIDIA drivers started crashing randomly while streaming. And there's a short term, there's a few ways you can try to fix that in the short term, and then there's the actual fix. Uh,
Okay.
the actual fix is reinstalling Windows. And I did not want to do that until my next episode was actually edited and finished, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so I got that published. I don't know if you've been watching the admin chat on Hermitcraft, but I felt like I was racing the memory hole on this episode.
Yes, no, I did see what your problems were, and I did kind of laugh. I did chuckle to myself.
Yeah, yeah, because I was just like, oh, okay. There's a good chance that if this gets fixed before anybody puts it in an episode, people are gonna be like, can we just pretend this never happened? And so I was just like, oh no, no, my entire episode is about the world border. Like,
Your
we
entire episode.
it was. I had built all this stuff, like mounted it on the world border
Mm-hmm.
before that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I am
Yeah.
not throwing away this entire episode concept, which I am like 10 minutes from being done recording.
Thank you, NX Super and Megs the Musical, for resubscribing for 8 months and 13 months, respectively. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. Okay. Um.
Grave says, how many
Oh,
people did you stab for a graphics card? The reason I finally got one is they just now went back down in price and became available again. Like, I have been
oh.
waiting for that. They're not quite at MSRP parity, but they are darn close. They're closer than they've been in like 3 or 4 years. So I was like, just in case this is a temporary dip, it's time to buy.
I'm getting one now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I understand that
So
entirely.
so I jumped on that, and I'm very happy with the graphics card. But like I said, it looks like updating the graphics card and the uh, camera at the same time. Uh, apparently, there's a problem with my Windows installation that normally wouldn't be that much of a problem, but having these two new things at once have made it a real problem. And I've tried everything short of actually reinstalling Windows. Um, the short-term mitigation things that I've done do seem to have helped. I did a test stream for 2 hours yesterday where, so Cleo, I use like a rebroadcasting service so that I can stream to
Yeah.
both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, right? And,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
oh,
Thank
is
you,
it?
Hypothermic Haddock, for the biddies. And Scott and Forgotten, who has subscribed. Welcome to the Horde. If you look to your left and to your right, you'll see there are no exits. And Hype Train, which is what the little hands are for. if you can see that on my screen.
I
That's
can.
the sign that there is a hype train. So now you've got a visual reminder.
Oh, I only brought an audio reminder. I'll put the train whistle visual reminder. Um,
Well, no, that's it's a visual cue that you should get out the train whistle.
yeah, there we go. So,
There you go. Thank you for the bitties. It's appreciated. Sorry. So you were saying.
yeah. So, so anyway, so I can send data, the same data that I would normally send to YouTube and Twitch through the rebroadcasting service, directly to the service, but with all of the endpoints turned off.
Yeah.
And so I was able to I spent 2 hours yesterday recording a time lapse while basically streaming to the service, with the service not retransmitting it to Twitch and YouTube. And the computer didn't crash once. So I'm hoping that I can get through this stream okay. Because that feels like a pretty good test.
I mean, yeah, I am a pretty good test for everyone. It's fine.
Oh, people are telling me my Twitch thing says Minecraft. I'll change that real quick.
Thank you, Megs, for the 2 gift subs that you've gifted. Thank you, Pushbok, for the biddies. Thank you, Crunchy Crunch, who has subscribed. Welcome to the Horde. If you look to your left and to your right, you'll see there are no exits. Okay, so after Joe's had his little existential crisis, which I approve of. I mean, not the existential crisis.
Fine. This is fine.
Not that I approve of the existential crisis, but that you're willing to share. That's the main thing. I am doing, May is my birthday month, so I'm starting May spread, obviously. So I'm doing a horoscope theme. Mm-hmm. Now, I am not a horoscope person specifically.
Are you gonna make up your own signs?
No. I'm gonna because I've got tape that's got the actual signs on them, so I figured I'd keep that. But you know, I like things that are pretty, and all the Star Galaxy theme tape that I do have is very, very pretty and sparkly, and that's the main thing. It's the only thing that matters. It's pretty and sparkly and gold. Sanastratus has resubbed for 10 months. I look forward to these craft streams every week. Oh, yay! He says thanks to both of us. You're very welcome. We enjoy the craft stream, so I hope you guys enjoy the craft stream. So I'm going to put...
Oh. Yeah. Uh-oh, are you in OWO mode?
No, I was talking to my cat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you'd know if I was in OWO mode, because your picture would show up.
Oh, that's true. I'm trying to look at my canvas at some point. That's something I would like to do eventually.
No. It's my stream. You're just rebroadcasting at this point.
Yeah, because you can't directly rebroadcast to YouTube. You have to have me as an intermediary.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh boy.
Oh dear. Okay, so I'm gonna do horoscope. Speaking of, oh no, we're in oh no, mojo. I'm sorry. It just happens.
Uh-oh, Cleo. Cleo.
I need to move my mic down slightly because I'm picking up your sounds.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, I know. It's a bit tragic.
I'm going to turn down you and my headphones just to make sure that that's not getting picked up by my mic too. 1 second while I mute so I don't smack the mics.
Yep, this is a thing that happens. Okay. So I need to figure out a quote for this month. Well, I know which quote I'm using. And I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. If it rains, look for rainbows. If it's dark, look for stars. That's the one. That's the one. It's very, very upbeat.
Not
I don't know
planets.
how to feel about that. No, whoa.
Uh-oh.
So I'm thinking of just laying things out now. That's what I'm doing. Cleo is being attacked by the hype zombies. Yeah, that's true. That is a thing that does seem to be happening.
So
but you know what? We are always being attacked by something in life. And in this time, it's just the hype zombies. Joe's like, I can't deal today.
No,
Or
no,
any
no.
day, in fact.
I'm trying to get like through the setup phase. Like once I actually start doing art and making sure that the canvas is like in frame and things like that, this will be fine. But I'm just having
I
a hard
like
time
that.
like talking and getting everything going.
That's fine. I approve your optimism that I think that you think everything's going to be fine. I don't think everything's going to be fine, Joe, ever.
Oh no.
But I appreciate the fact that you do.
Also, my camera seems to have suddenly decided to change a bunch. So one of the problems too is I did all of the work that I did to make the stuff not crash all the time seems to have overrode the very specific camera settings that I set up.
Mm-hmm. That does seem to be like a Joe problem. It really does.
Configure video. Okay, this isn't white balance. This is brightness compensation, maybe? No.
I wonder which word I'm going to miss off this quote, because I always seem to be doing that. You know? Okay, so you're here for it. I don't see. Well, I'm a zombie. Of course, I'm not bothered by the zombie hands.
I'm gonna turn off low light compensation. I don't think that's a concern.
I don't think that helps anything, to be honest.
No.
But that's okay.
Okay.
Hang on. It's like start, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So.
Oh, thank you to Peridot Hair, who says Cleo's chat set off her silly stream thing, so I suppose some Owone should set off the Advocate speed sliding. Love the latest episode. Thank you very much, Peridot Hair. It started off as one thing and kind of loosely ended up as what I intended anyway.
I don't think I believe that, but okay, Joel.
Yeah. I got where I was intending to go, but the road was not the one expected.
That I do believe.
Oh, yeah.
It did sound from what I saw, and I didn't see much. It did seem like a journey of just like people going, could the admins do a thing, and the admins going, sure, and you're going, no, wait.
Yeah. Oh boy,
that's gonna mess me up so badly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like the fact that people realize that you can request anything you want of the admins and they'll assume that we've all spoken about it and agreed on it.
Yeah, that's
gonna be fun at the next meeting, because I really thought about being the guy that's like, maybe we need a process for this, but like, I'm tired. I'm just like, nope, time to make hay while the sun shines.
When hermits are they're just chaotic, which is always. And now we can stop. Everybody breathe. Okay, Hey,
Aista. Aista says, I'm also drawing cats. Same brain. Awesome. Yeah, I'm working on a character model for a D&D character for an upcoming charity D&D game, which will be on April 9th at 2 p.m. U.S. Central, called Mercy Road.
Sounds like fun.
It will be.
I mean, it's always sounded like fun.
Is that the sort of thing that you want? Like, I will say, like, I kind of as soon as I got the invite, I was like, hey, can I invite my dungeon master to this? He designs Pathfinder. But the thing is, whenever he and I play, we're always on opposite sides of the table. So I've been like trying to find an excuse to get us both on the same side of the table for a while.
Yeah.
But like next year, I could totally be like, hey, could my friend Zombie Cleo play? Is that appropriate for me to ask if you?
I have far too much D&D in my life as it is.
Okay, even like a one-off charity thing, you would not want to be.
If it's a one-off charity. But if it's a one-off charity thing, I'd probably be into it. I would probably crowdsource my character from my current D&D group, because that'd be hilarious.
Well, and I want to say too, I wouldn't be promising that you would say yes. I would be saying, hey, if you haven't filled the table for the game I'm in, could I ask one of my friends who's also big on YouTube? or big enough on if I, at the point where they consider me big on YouTube enough to invite me, like I'm pretty, you know, I
You're pretty sure that they'd accept me.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I know where your standards are, and Cleo is better than me in most ways, so I think like. I mean, really, if I had to like make a list of things I'm better than you at, I think maybe Linux server administration and parenting. And that's maybe it.
I don't know about the parenting. I did used to be a teacher.
That's not the same as parenting.
No, but I think if I had parenting, I'd probably give it a good go. But
no, I think you would too, but you
you.
haven't. But that's what I'm saying though is you haven't actually tried. That's like me saying like, you know, I'd spent a lot of time thinking about three-dimensional objects in Minecraft. I bet if I tried sculpting, I'd have a leg up on people who hadn't played a lot of Minecraft. That might be true, but I haven't really tried sculpting, so I can't claim. You know what I mean?
That was a. Don't worry, Joe. It wasn't serious. It's fine. I'm not coming for your parenting ability.
No.
You come into my domain.
Oh boy.
No. You are definitely a better parent than me because I've never had to deal with that and don't want to. Ever. Although people still keep on going, but you'd make such a good mom. I don't want to be a good mom. Please leave me alone.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'd be an excellent mom, but no, thank you. Thank you, but no.
Yeah, that, you know, I'm sure I'd be great at grading standardized tests, but I don't want to do that. Like...
Oh, no. People whose job it is don't want to do that. Thank you, Mini Cheese Mouse, for the biddies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know someone who did that for a living, and it did not seem fun.
Oh no, I've had friends that have done. Well, obviously I'm a teacher, but yeah, we have like the GCSEs, and they're just like, yeah, I've got to grade these tests by the end of the holidays. How many do you have to do? 1,033. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
it's the Easter holidays. Please help. God, I'm so glad I don't have to worry about holidays anymore, except for avoiding the town centre when they're on. And I do.
Uh-oh, these are not level. That's gonna be a problem. It's fine.
You may have realised that the theme is black and gold and a bit of white.
Oh, hey, those are the colours of my alma mater, black and gold.
I was a red and white person.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, because, like, they're going to start opening up for, like, people attending events and things again in the near future. And I'm like, oh, man, do I have I had a black and gold tie at some point, but I don't know if I've worn it, or I don't know if I can find it. Should I go buy another tie? That seems a little bit extravagant. But
it seems a bit excessive, to be honest.
Yeah, who needs a tie? Especially because I barely leave the house. Hey, Matthew! Thank you for the 10, who says a monetary token of appreciation for the glorious content you produce for us. Well, I'm glad to bring you whatever contentment I can. That's going to put us $5 away from the next face camera expansion. Thank you, Matthew.
May gets to be fancy. May is my birthday month. May absolutely gets to be fancy if May wants to be fancy. And I want May to be fancy. Black and gold. You know what? Okay, that's the center line.
Interesting. There's a comment here about me having a really good cut in my video when the world border moved.
Did you? I haven't seen it yet.
That was not trick photography.
Were you there when it moved?
Yeah, I ran to my computer. I saw that message on my phone where somebody goes, "Oh, hey, admin, can you move the world border?" And the person goes, "I just need a minute." And I'm like, "I need a minute."
No. I could see myself adopting children before getting married. Then I realised I was ace 10 years ago. I mean, I think I'm not opposed to fostering children, but, you know, I don't have a place to do that or, you know, the energy, and I'm getting old, so...
Yeah, well, and that's one of those things where I feel like if I was at a point of more stability in my life,
Hmm.
um, especially when you look at stuff like this invasion of Ukraine, that's the sort of thing that generates a lot of orphans.
Yeah.
Like land wars in
Yeah.
Europe aren't great for parenting stability, and you know, like I'm looking at like what right now when I look around, I'm like, what could I do? I'm like, I'm already stretched super thin. I'm doing a bad
Yeah.
job at a lot of the things I'm supposed to be doing already. I need to be doing less, not more right now. But like, you know, if
In
I
the future,
if
maybe. Yeah.
yeah, like 10 years from now, would it be insane? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but
Yeah.
uh,
One of those things that everybody has their priorities,
yeah.
and it's very difficult to judge people's priorities because they're theirs,
Hmm.
and you need to be aware that not everything is as easy as it sounds.
Yeah. I'm seeing several comments in multiple chats saying fostering kids is harder than taking care of your own kids, and that
Oh, I
makes
know.
sense.
I'm aware.
Especially children of like traumatic family deaths.
Hmm.
Like there's a big difference
Yeah.
between like fostering an orphan versus adopting a
Yeah.
baby. You know.
Oh,
Uh,
100%. Yeah.
and so yeah,
Like I say, I'm not opposed to like parenting per se. But it's not like children are not for me, you
mm-hmm.
know? And I'm not in a position to do it anyway. So,
Well, that's fair. What?
sorry, I just read hypothetics. Sure, being a mum is great, but have you ever been a shepherd with 150 sheep? Haven't. Not opposed, to be honest.
Well, and this might be the sort of thing that sounds like super judgmental in a weird way,
Uh-huh.
but like I understand why people wouldn't want to date somebody who already has kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Partially because when I found myself a single parent, I was just like, just taking care of my own kid who I've known since she was born is so much of a challenge. Like, I don't know. I understand why somebody wouldn't want to jump into that, you know?
Oh
And, like,
yeah.
I understand that that's not the case for everybody, but, like, for the people that are like, no, I wouldn't want to date somebody with kids, is like, makes sense to me. That's cool. Like, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel slighted, you know? But, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's difficult enough as it is. I'm just trying to figure out can right, this is where we get like test time. Can I see through this tape?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, because that's normally what I do when I cut things out.
Mm-hmm.
It's test time.
Those triangles are really, really dark.
What triangles?
Oh, on the. Oh, I thought you were going to be taping over that the pattern with the triangles in the back of the book. But you're going to test it on this. This makes more sense.
Oh no, I'm testing on this. This is
Okay.
what I would be. Right, we've established cannot see through that, so I'm going to have to use a different tape. Right. Have I got gold? Would I be able to see through the gold tape? I've got a lot of gold tape.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I see we have a
Possibly
new
not.
Patreon patron. Welcome. Just so you know, I have to send those invites out manually, and I usually do so within the next business day. So keep an eye out for that in your Patreon mailbox.
Oh yeah, I need to do Patreon stuff.
Oh, yeah, because you do them in a batch once a month.
Yeah, and I've been doing taxes, so this month has been a bit.
Oh, I mailed off my quarterly taxes yesterday. I'm so happy about that.
Well, I have like a little book where I do all my taxes stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to my accountant, and they're going to deal with it because, dear God, cannot see through the shiny gold tape either. Right?
That's good, right? Or do you want to be able to see through it?
No, because I want to cut around the shape.
Oh,
So
I mean, you can't see where you need to cut.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the white tape because I can definitely see through that, And then
It's really close to the background of the paper, though.
go round it in the gold Sharpie.
That's cool. That'll look really nice.
I hope so. Oh dear, the things we do for aesthetics. Oh, speaking of aesthetics, I've gotten in the last couple of days. I've been watching a lot of just like when I've been doing things. I've been watching like aesthetic TikToks, and it's like people just like restocking things and
Restocking things.
Like their laundry detergent. They have these glass dishes that have their laundry detergent, and you know they have like little plants, and they stack their towels, and they restock their fridges to be perfectly aligned in rows. And I'm like, I want to be aesthetic. I'm never going to be aesthetic, but I want to be aesthetic.
I was so happy when they added piles of books to Animal Crossing, because I was like, finally, I can just make a place that looks like where I live. It's just like, oh, I can get all these different types of tables that don't match each other, and then put a bunch of books and magazines and papers on them.
I really would like to be aesthetic, but then they have like they have like a little glass box, and then they have this stack of like cotton swabs, and then they take them out of the plastic bag that they're already in for their protection, and then they put it in the thing, and they do the same with Q-tips. And I'm like, but that sort of defeats the purpose. You've just had your hands on those things. And that's gross. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Numeral cheered biddies and said, you're aesthetically organized. This aesthetically organized. I am not aesthetically organized. All those people are aesthetically organized, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I would like to be that person. Never going to be that person, but damn it, I'm going to try.
Oh, you'll get there, Cleo.
I won't. I know my limitations.
Well, I mean, you could always try to emulate that in Minecraft, at least. I've found the best way to know my limitations is when I've got a terrible idea and I'm like, there's no way I could ever pull that off. But like, part of me is like, but I feel like I should try. Like, you know, like I found like I've got, you know, when I have a list of insane ideas like that, what I just need to do is go down the list and add ... in Minecraft to each one. And then a lot of times they become more feasible. It's like, I could never give a $40,000 speech to Goldman Sachs, even though it's way cheaper than Hillary Clinton. I'm a bargain, but they still wouldn't pay me that. But I'm like, but what if I did that in Minecraft? You know, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a YouTube episode now. Right?
I don't think me trying to be aesthetic with laundry detergent is going to work in Minecraft, but I see your point.
Well, but you could be aesthetic with the other things in Minecraft. I
mean, arguably, that's what I'm trying to do anyway.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, you could go through, like look at the pacing of those videos, where they're like, oh, look, this laundry detergent comes in a big jug, but we're gonna put it into these happy smaller containers. So what you do is you can, you know, be like, we've got a stack of cobble. We're gonna put it into these several dispensers in stacks of 9 instead of 64 because it's just more pleasing.
You can probably find aesthetic mods for Minecraft. Yeah, but my job is not aesthetic mods. So I have a job that requires non-modded to the best of our ability.
Yep. We're the best around. Not playing Minecraft, yeah. Okay.
We're all right.
Oh man.
I always really struggle with people saying I'm the best. I'm like, oh yeah.
You want to know what I pridefully failed at today or yesterday, I guess, but it's in today's video.
Always, Joe. Always.
So Scar showed up in my house when I was trying to record something. I've been trying to record with him for like 2 weeks. So I'm like, whatever. Like, fine. He's interrupting me. I was in the middle of throwing away a take. I was like, okay, well, this footage is unusable. We're just going to start. Oh, good. So, like, but he had some sort of, like, Kill Bill siren in the background of his audio. And I don't know how maybe he was leaning on his soundboard or something. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just edit it out in
That's
post.
not from my base, is it?
I don't think so, because it was only coming through when he was talking.
Okay, right. It might have been from my base.
Okay.
I found my prank, is all I'm saying. It was a lot of noise.
So, it was definitely coming through his mic and not through the game.
Okay.
So I think it was something wrong with his soundboard or something. So, anyway, I tried to lower it in the audio as much as I could, and then just slapped a huge sign on it, because he came there to murder me. I'm like, apologies for the volume of Scar's murderous intent klaxon.
Scar's murderous intent klaxon.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I cannot remove... This segment is too good to take out entirely. That was the other thing, is he kept, like, trying to leave and then failing. And so the segment ends, like, 6 times, but the problem is every time he tries to leave, he fails in such a way that leads into the next part of the segment. So there was no way to, like, just cut out him saying goodbye, because him saying goodbye immediately slams into him, oh, by the way. Like, and, oh my gosh. Yeah, so then I had a big thing, apologies for Scar's inability to actually leave. Like, I tried to edit it out in post and couldn't.
It was just funny. That's the thing about Scar.
Scar is the hardest hermit to edit down. Like,
oh yeah.
Because even though all the hermits are great in different ways, some of us are more repetitive than others, right? Yeah. And that's a safety mechanism. If you notice when Cub and I stream, when we record during my streams, we repeat ourselves a lot, and that's so that we can, in post-production, pick the explanation of what we're doing, or the statement of what we're doing, that works the best with the flow of the footage around it, right? And so with Scar, though, he's always saying something unique, and so I end up with, when I have my episodes, it's like there's like 30 little slices of footage, then an 8-minute segment with Scar, and then 30 little slices of footage. Because I'm just like, oh my god, this is all gold. He's the ineditable man. Oh my gosh, Mahi Zero says we need to draw him as Scar Lumbo. Just one more thing. Oh my god, I love that. Oh, and also thank you very much, Parrot O'Hare, for tipping 5. That gets us to our first Face Camera expansion milestone. So here we go.
Are there bitties on the ceiling? Possible. They should be, because they're at the overlays at the top. Sorry, Joe, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you've never seen a Joe Hill stream before, when we hit a tipping milestone, the camera gets bigger. So, howdy, y'all. Grow Hills here, expanding as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. Okay, but yeah, so anyway, yeah, Scar's style, he is honestly so brilliant. But, like, yeah, it was funny, because when I was editing the Corrales teaches me Swedish part, like, I was like, okay, well, I need this episode's already really long, what can I cut out? And Corrales is easy to edit in a lot of ways because he's so effusive with his praise. I'm like, I don't need him telling me that I'm good at something 8 different ways. We'll have him say it once, and then I cut the other 7, and I just shaved off 55 seconds, right?
Right.
But yeah, oh,
the hermits are very special in their own ways. Scar is more special than others. Thank you, McLesley, for the biddies. Is my hype ceiling broken? I think it might be.
Oh. Tango impersonated me. Oh, really? That's an honor.
Oh, it is working. Okay,
usually Tango only impersonates like ambassadors to the UN and other people who are widely revered. So that's high praise if Tango impersonated me. I kind of don't believe it almost.
I've never really. I've seen Tango do a couple of impressions, but I want to know why he was doing an impression of you.
Yeah, I actually have no idea.
Was Joe complaining about something? Or, I mean, that doesn't really happen, to be honest.
Was it?
Joe's more kind of like, okay, and now to fit this into my episode somehow.
Oh, okay. So, also, another hermit commissioned art of all of us, and the person apparently doesn't know us very well and just used whatever skins we had on for April Fool's Day. So I'm gonna be Joe Astley in an upcoming Hermit's art project. So that's,
You'd think at that point you'd have given them the skins.
you know, honestly, like, I'm just I'm gonna I'm just gonna roll with it.
Ah. After Joe raided Tango, he was like saying something like "raiding as I always do" from Nashville, Tennessee. Well, yeah, that's fair.
Not too much of a, yeah.
That's not a stretch at all. In fact,
I just can't get over Scarlumbo because like that like little because Columbo also kind of has the lazy eye and Scar's eyes, so basically are always like both looking the same direction, but you just have one that's slightly looking the other way, and then you have him in the trench coat. It would work so well.
It would. It would. I'm not opposed. I am not opposed.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, so cats' whiskers are as wide as their bodies, right? That's how that works?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, however wide the whiskers are, how wide the character's shoulders need to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily work on a chunky kitty, but you know.
In theory.
In theory, and a healthy child.
Yeah.
Well, no, they are babies. It's fine. And a healthy kitty, it's. Oh, this is going to smear.
Joe being perturbed by being prolifically peppered with praise. You know, I actually was thinking, Cleo. Do you okay? I don't know how you feel about these in general. So before I pitch this project to you in Hermitcraft, maybe you're not the right person for this, but I feel like you don't absolutely hate Christmas carols. I think we did something with Christmas carols like super early,
yeah.
maybe even before Hermitcraft, right?
Oh yeah, it was before Hermitcraft because there was a whole they're on my channel. There was a whole bunch of people involved that were Minecraft adjacent.
Yeah. I was thinking it could be funny in the same way that we rickrolled, or not we, but myself and Beef rickrolled Iskall in Swedish. It would be funny to do an ambush episode. And I can talk about this now because it's April and people will forget about this by December, I'm hoping. But where we go around ambushing people singing like the most iconic Christmas carols of their nation. Like, so for Keralis, we learn a Polish Christmas carol.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. I don't need to say anything more.
Yeah, we can talk about the details like not in public, but
yeah, no, I'm in.
Okay. Yeah, cuz I had so much fun with this Swedish Rickroll thing, but I don't want to do it again right away. I'm like, what's an appropriate amount of time to do another foreign language singing thing? And it's like Christmas feels about right.
We'll forget.
Yeah. And it's also the sort of thing where we can record that together and then upload it, you know, like it's an episode that's relatively quick because we're not doing a huge build for it necessarily. It's just a bunch of like sneaking up on people
and singing at them. That's the thing that we can that's the thing that we can do.
Yeah. And then Sarah Schreffler says, for us viewers, we could be introduced to Christmas songs from cultures different than our own. Exactly. And that's the thing, too, is we can talk a little bit about, like, oh, hey, we're going to do this one from, you know, apparently this song was written, you know, in blah, blah, blah by, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Hopefully we'll fill in the blah, blah, blahs. But,
yeah.
Soikal has resubscribed for 12 months. 1 year later, still trying to find the exit. Good. Never gonna happen.
Have you seen The Good Place yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite lines was when one of the characters was like, you know, I made my way to America, yada yada yada. Learned English from Seinfeld, yada yada yada.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Don't bang your head on the ring light. I was trying to blow the excess dust off, and it did not work.
I do not have a ring light, so...
That's probably smart, because I just... Honestly, it's great for most things, but this particular thing, I keep smacking my face into it. Like, it either needs to be, like, significantly higher or significantly lower, but neither of them are really great for this type of camera. And so, yeah, that's something I'll fix later.
Fix it in post, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we got another tip rolling in. Let's see who that's from. It looks like we got 5 from Rotation, who says, "Good morning, Joe and Cleo and the cat drawing." So that's gonna
morning.
15 away from the next expansion. What?
Sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
What?
No. It's fine. It's fine. I think I took something out of context that wasn't supposed to be out of context, and I don't want to share it because then I'll look like an idiot. Which is, you know, something I'm good at, looking like an idiot. It's 90% of teaching, to be honest. Constant Sorrow resubscribed for 11 months.
I am the man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. That's all I got.
I'm just trying to figure out if that's a real song or not.
Yeah, it is a real song. It's
okay.
It's from the film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Ah.
Have you seen it?
Okay.
It's Coen Brothers adaptation of the Odyssey to the American Depression Dust Bowl era.
Ah. Yeah, probably wouldn't watch that.
Oh, it's really good. It's got
I feel like it would ring home a bit too much.
Yeah, it's got George Clooney as the as Ulysses Everett McGill.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's very loquacious, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to remember, like because like the beginning of the movie starts with him and 2 other guys he's chained to escaping from the farm in Louisiana.
Yeah,
which is
I think I've seen like
pen.
like bits, but it's yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced it's for me.
Yeah, so him and these 3 guys, like, you know, are trying to like climb up onto this train while chained together, and they get into this boxcar, and it's just full of hobos, because just everybody's got no money and is trying to find a better place, you know, and you know, so he's their full prison uniform. Chain hanging out the door of the boxcar to the other 2 guys who are sprinting alongside the train trying to climb up themselves. And he's just like, "Any of you boys smithies? Or if not smithies per se, otherwise acquainted with the metallurgical arts before whatever wayward path of fortune led you to this current less fortunate state." And then one of the guys behind him trips and he gets yanked out of the train. It's a really funny movie. I don't know. I'm not sure why you wouldn't like it.
I don't know. I'm very
I'm almost wondering if you're thinking of a different movie.
It's possible.
Because
it's possible.
It's such a weird and silly movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm relatively weird about movies, I think, is my problem. I've got to go into it knowing that I'm gonna like it,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, sometimes I just look at movies and go, I know I'm not gonna enjoy that.
Uh-huh.
This looks so pretty. Thank you. You'll like it. You see, people tell me that a lot, and then they go, well, what do you think? And then I go, I didn't like it. And then they go, but I thought you'd like it. I said, I know, that's why I watched it, and I didn't like it. And I feel bad because they're just like, I don't understand. Why didn't you like it? I don't know. I just didn't.
Yeah.
And they get so offended.
Well, that's the thing, is I wouldn't be offended if you didn't like it. If you watched it and didn't like it. I'm just
It's baffled.
yeah, I guess what I'm saying, yeah, I'm trying to think of like what about this movie would bother you, because there seems like a lot of things in this movie that you would like, if that makes any sense.
There is a possibility that I would love it, but you know, sometimes I don't.
No, and that's okay. That's okay. So, just for the benefit of the conversation, maybe could you give an example of a movie you went into thinking you'd like it, but then you actually liked it even more than you expected?
I don't actually think that happens. Oh no, it happened last night actually.
Oh, how timely!
How timely! Yeah, I thought I like the newest Resident Evil movie. I watched that last night.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That's not what I would have guessed.
No, I thought I'd like it. And then it was like, for me, granted, it was immediate fan service because it was just sort of like, as somebody who's played the original games, you know, I was just like, oh, there's a tyrant, and there's the G virus and all that sort of thing. And it was just sort of like, no, that's Sherry. That's the little girl from the ones that we all hated, you know. And it was just very much kind of like it was very fan servicey. So I thought I'd like it, but I didn't realize how much I would like it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, well, so the movie I watched this week that was true of was I don't know if you've heard of Darkman.
Nope.
So between making Evil Dead 2 and Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness, Sam Raimi was hired by Universal to create something that was halfway between a monster movie and a superhero movie.
Right.
And it's just as weird as Evil Dead, but it's got Liam Neeson as the lead. And like, you don't necessarily think of Liam Neeson as this guy who would work well with Sam Raimi's bizarre directorial vision. But it actually works really well. And I'm not sure it's I'm certain it's not a good movie, but it's ludicrously fun. It's a very fun movie. It's an enjoyable film, right? Because it's just so over the top. Oh, hey. So I was gonna say, I actually got recommended this by the Red Letter Media YouTube channel, and as I was about to say that, one of the guys from Red Letter Media just tweeted out that we're gonna be playing D&D together this week, which is why I'm drawing a cat for that upcoming charity D&D game. So that's fun. Let me go make sure I retweet that. That's gonna be super awesome.
Definitely got to retweet that one because that sounds like fun.
I'm so excited about this.
Oh, I'm glad. Everybody sit up straight. Your back's gone. At least mine has. At this point, I'm just assuming things about.
Hey,
people.
Saucefire, I'm working on my character portrait for my character sheet that I still owe you from 2 days ago. Oh no! April 1st is no longer 2 days ago. From 5 days ago. My bad.
Joe.
I have a list of spells that's gonna go on the character sheet. Look. I got all of the character details, just not in character sheet form. Saucefire says, I know you have a lot on your plate, Joe. Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating that. But I'm very excited about this.
He is.
But yeah.
I just.
Oh, Oh, the other thing I came up with as kind of a character note is that because my character is a sorcerer and they don't have to know where their magic comes from, when he
Mm-hmm.
uses his character abilities, he shouldn't know what the D&D handbook calls them, right?
This is Sparklefire.
Yeah, well, but like not just the spells, but like so like there's a sorcerer ability called the Fountain of Magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
so it's I was thinking like like with stuff like that, he'd be like, I want to use an ability I have that lets me change how I cast spells. We don't really have a word for it, but I've heard it referred to as La Fuente Mágica, and I just love it. And just like, you know, I've got to find ways to do that. I'm gonna gauge how much talking is appropriate to do at the table, because there's a lot of really funny people, right? And I don't want to monologue too much, but I also know that it's good to have a few dumb things like that up your sleeve,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
like when so that when like if there's like a lull, like when we're brainstorming, I can suggest the wrong ability, even if nothing else, just to fill the dead air. you know
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can understand that.
okay.
I understand. Oh, you're a dangerous person to have at the D&D table. I can tell.
Well,
In the best possible way.
yeah, I mean, I you're not wrong, but I try to play characters who are helpful and constructive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
You're
like
not murder hobo, is what you're saying.
no, because it's one of those things where like I feel like I really enjoy these sorts of games as an outlet for my chaos and
Yeah.
mayhem. I don't know if mayhemic nature is a thing, but
Oh, you, Joe, it definitely
I
is.
don't want to I feel like it would be inappropriate to say I have a chaotic nature. I feel like a mayhemic nature is more correct. Um so
The
but yeah,
difference is negligible.
yeah. So I try to play D&D characters that have an opportunity for me to express that, but in a way that usually is helping more than it's hurting, right?
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. I still like my paladin who is he just wants to help all the bad guys to be not bad guys. He's a good guy. He's my favorite at the moment.
Does he heal the enemies in hopes that like they'll understand that divine
No, but
power
he
will look, I'm gonna heal that bandit for 28 health. We're still fighting that bandit. Yeah, but I feel like maybe if he recognizes the divine power involved here, he'll
Well, here's the thing.
it'll wake
Mine
him up a
is
little bit.
He's my paladin's a redemption paladin who is an atheist.
Ah.
So there's no divine power. There is just looking at the good inside yourself and being talked round by my paladin repeatedly. It's just like, you don't have to do this. There's another way. So my character's got to give everyone a fair chance before he does anything. Unless the card doesn't understand the language, then it's a case of, well, if you're attacking me and I can't speak to you, there's not a lot I can do at this point. And you're hurting people, so I've got to protect them, kind of thing. But yeah, going off on long monologues to the bad guys. When the bad guy's trying to monologue to you about how evil they are, that's when you start monologuing back about how they don't have to be evil.
When you monologue into the void monologues back.
Yeah. My GM's just saying I've taken to add in NPCs just for the paladin to redeem.
Well, the thing is, though, that's good DMing, though, is like, okay. Oh, man. So, there was this thing in our last, you know that thing from Batman about, like, where the Joker says, like, I'm like a dog chasing cars, I don't know what I would do if I'd actually caught one.
Yeah.
Right? Well, there's this thing where, we were chasing an enemy monk through a murder maze, and we get to this room, and there's this monster that eats souls, and
Right.
it's like it's kind of like a walking containment unit from Ghostbusters type of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just full of ghosts, and so we kill it, and it cracks open, and the ghosts all fly like into like these like partially preserved corpses that are like all over the room, littering the room, right? And then the corpses decay, and then the spirits like dissipate, right? And the DM says one of the corpses, which seemed fresher than the others, catches your attention, and you see the monk you were chasing, who looks up at you and whispers, "Thank you," before slipping away. And our cleric goes, "Not today! I've got breath of life. At the moment of death, a character is restored to 1 HP.
Nice.
And so the thing is, nobody knew what to do with this character that we rescued / captured at that point, because like this was just supposed to be like, oh, this person was supposed to lead us somewhere, and then their purpose was completed by the time we were there, and it's like, so it's just, so the dungeon master's just like, okay, so where do you want to go with this? And we're all just like, yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. We were just doing cool things,
Yeah,
which is fine.
We're saving people's lives who we admittedly came here to kill. That was the other thing, is we were chasing them down to kill them. We had never...
Yeah, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
Because it was like a "you'll never take me alive" type thing, and it's like, whoops, we took her alive? It's just like, well, we can't just kill her now. Because, like...
Now you don't have...
Now she's our prisoner, right? And it's... You can't just execute a prisoner. Like, that's not cool. Womp womp. Oh. So yeah, we're gonna see next week how that goes. But
I like this. D&D is one of those things I've always got into, but required talking to people. Unfortunately, after a little while of D&D, if you get the same group and you gel with them, it's so much easier than, because you can take on a persona. You don't have to talk to them as yourself. You can talk to them as your character, because your character is way better at them talking than you are. I do enjoy that part of D&D. It's just like, yep, no. My character is evil. I mean, just as a general rule, probably. Actually, no, I tend to play good characters. It's just the rest of the party kind of wears me down.
Yeah, I tend to play characters that are generally good, but don't want to be in charge. Because, you know, every table I'm at, there's always somebody else that wants to be in charge, almost always, right? And so I'm happy to let them take the lead, right? And my character will support them and argue with them sometimes, but, like, you know, my character isn't trying to lead the party or run the party. But they're also... I usually play characters that are impatient enough that if nobody's making a decision, I'm just gonna blow open a door with magic. It's like, okay, we need to do something. Well, is it safe to go through that door? Well, I don't know if it's safe to go through that door. It's like, well, okay. I've got, you know, I've got an ability called, or a feat in Pathfinder called Vandal, which lets me do extra damage to inanimate objects. And so it's just like, you know, okay, well, I'm just going to attack that door with a level 4 spell and hopefully disintegrate any traps on it, because we can't agree whether or not this door is trapped, and I am done caring. It's like, Joe, is burning a level 4 spell slot in the situation where you're looking at a door wise? No, but I'm not going to sit here for 15 minutes and argue about doors. Like...
Yeah. My problem is, I don't want to be the leader, but I always end up being the leader. And it's just sort of like, why are you asking me? Why don't you just do it? It's fine.
Hey, thank you, Leslie, for the 5. That is going to put us 10 away from the next face camera expansion. Saucefire.
Thank you, McLeslie, for the biddies. It's appreciated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Saucefire, who's going to be running the game on Saturday in my chat, says immediately places Joe in charge. That's actually not a good idea. Like,
it really isn't. As somebody who's had a lot of experience with Joe, no.
Yeah. But like seriously, Ryan's character, he's playing a stranded Starfleet officer.
Yeah, that's the one you want in charge.
Yeah, like I think that's a more logical like I think you're going to get a better show out of this. And I say this as somebody who professionally makes shows for a living. Like my character, if you told me, Joe, you're in charge of a party for this event, I would have designed a very different character. This is not the character you want for that. I'm here to help you make money for children's hospitals, not here to help you embarrass me. And you're going to get a lot more money for children's hospitals by spotlighting Ryan and his character in that way. So, this is Ryan's first time playing D&D. But that's the thing, though, is he just needs to consider... He doesn't need to know the mechanics of D&D, because the rest of the party and you will help with that. He's playing a character that's designed to analyze situations and lead, right? And he can be helped by... Like, we're not going to you're not throwing him to the wolves. We'll all support him. But my character has a support personality, not a leader personality. And stats and spells to match.
Yeah, I find support characters way more fun.
Oh yeah, because then I can help people. I can back up their bad ideas rather than people being mad at me for executing my own bad ideas. Like, it's just better.
A lot of experience with Joe. This is true. This is true. Oh dear. The only lawful good parrot being a party of chaotics. That's like, I don't pay a lot of attention to character alignment, to be honest, when I do D&D.
Yeah, I pay more attention to like character affiliation almost. Like, So like my character started off as like a union janitor at a wizard school. Right? And so, and I've actually I've burned a lot of feats and character specialization options on labor lore and related knowledge.
Oh!
And so, the thing is, when we get weird rolls, like, okay, we have to construct a raft or something.
Okay.
You know, I'll be like, okay, well, you know, there's a lot of shipbuilders unions and shipwrights unions. Do I remember any particular arguments between, you know, workers and the owners about safety and quality control that might influence my ability to make something more watertight or things like that, you know? And, like, a lot of times the DM will be like, fine. Like, you have burned way too many points on stuff like this. Fine. I'll let you
let it happen.
Yeah, God forbid I need to, like, recognize magic or anything, though. It's like, Joe, do you want to learn Counterspell? A lot of wizards lean on that pretty heavily. I'm like, nah. I'm working on this labor lore.
You see, I hate Counterspell because, you know, Counterspell is you know how to have fun now. So as a DM, I
fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing and it's like, Joe, well, what about Fireball? No. What about Magic Missile? No. It's like, okay. So
I disagree that Fireball isn't fun though.
No, well, that's the thing though, is I'm like, well, I'd rather learn weirder spells. You know.
Yeah.
And
like monkeyfish, just because my group chanted monkey for hours after getting the opportunity to learn that spell. I never got it, but I always regretted not getting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's one of those things like, yeah, I'm trying to, like, anybody could have a player at their table who just takes the spells that are recommended in the online forums and plays the class exactly like that, you know? And I'm like, Oh, that's not that's I'm very contrarian, and that's not how I want to
Oh,
play.
you Joe. Don't say things like that about yourself.
Oh, okay,
You're
fine, I
not
agree.
contrarian.
Uh,
You make it sound like you're obnoxious, Joe. You're not obnoxious.
yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, racing to get my episode out the door before the world border move gets memory hold. Like, I can imagine one person's voice in particular at Thursday's meeting very clearly saying, like, well, if the audience hasn't seen us move the world border yet, it seems like we could
Yeah.
save a lot of trouble by just moving it back and nobody mentions it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah. It's
I appreciate you, but I don't want to talk about things on Thursday.
oh. Yeah.
Joe's like, oh, yeah, no, that's a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, I actually have a thing on Thursday. I might not, and I was like, oh no, I can make the meeting.
Were you just like, I might not be able to make
I was like,
the meeting.
you know what? I might not be able to make that one anyway. It's like, no, I can't.
And you're just like, no, yeah, you can.
No, my thing's slightly after it. Dang it.
This audience not noticed something? Have they met us? I mean, arguably, wrong audience to not notice things. Because, yeah, they are, I don't know how to explain it. Excessive. Observant, maybe. Although I have to admit, JT was the person on the Reddit forums that was going in season 8. No, they haven't said they're definitely going to change. They're definitely going to delete the outer chunks of where they are, of the island. They definitely haven't said that.
We said
and
we
nobody
might.
believed them. They said might, and nobody. I was watching JT just do this for months. It's just like, and getting downvoted to heck, and it was just like I was already there going, I wish I could tell you that you're right.
Well, the thing is, if all of a sudden Mojang came out with 119, like way fast, or if they came out with, if they came out with the second half with the Warden quicker than expected after all, we wouldn't have reset the world. Like,
oh, I know.
There was a non-zero chance that Mojang would surprise us somehow.
Yeah, but this was when we were talking about the moon already in group.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know?
By that point, we were too far gone.
We were too far gone at that point. But I really enjoyed JT, like, saluting you at that point because you were doing the work. It was just like, no, they haven't. No, they haven't. It was great. Oh, dear.
How do they draw hands at Night in the Woods? Okay.
They didn't.
Yeah, I was...
Hey, Cam. Okay. There we go. And now we've got the nice little black and gold border. Hey, Cam. Right. No, that's good enough as it is. And then we need May.
Oh.
How do I want to do May?
When it's dark, look for stars. When it rains, look for rainbows.
Yeah. It's 4 cats and a dog watching my stream. Oh, God. Don't want to disappoint the puppers. So many people kept on saying, but they said, and I just asked for the clip.
It was literally my job to make sure, though, that Mumbo said we might.
Yes.
It was literally my job. Because Mumbo's like, somebody has to tell me the things I have to say on camera. And somebody's like, Mumbo, can't you just write it down? He's like, somebody has to tell me the things I have to say on camera.
I like the fact that we all just turned up and went, Mumbo's doing it. And Mumbo was like, what?
Yeah. That's what happens if you don't show up at meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we did agree to that at meetings that Mumbo would do it because he wasn't there to disagree.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
we?
that was the thing, is we were at a meeting, and I don't know if I'm the one that said it. I don't know if I'm the one that proposed it, but I'm definitely the one that said if Mumbo doesn't want to be put in charge of things, he needs to come to the meetings, because we've all made it clear none of us want to do it, and he has not made that clear.
Yeah, I think it was you actually. Which, you know, if you don't want to volunteer for things
Show
or get
up.
volunteered for things, show up.
Yeah, the best way to avoid volunteering is to show up.
And then on that day he went, "What? I'm doing what now? Okay."
And then I think did Grian put him in charge of the ending thing too? Because it's like, Mumbo, since you did the opening, it's only appropriate for you to do the ending.
I think that one was Grian.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of people in my chat, Yazzie Wolf, Manty Gag, and others are like, if you don't show up to meetings, you get voluntold.
Yep.
Yep.
That is true. Not sure I like this, the thing that I am doing. So, fortunately, it's on washi tape.
Washi tape.
So I can go... No. Did he start showing up to more often to meetings?
No.
No. When at the beginning of the season, Mumbo goes, "I'm here! I'm at the meeting! Look, I'm going to come to these more often." And and then next week, where's Mumbo? I don't know. So, yeah. We're used to it by now. We don't expect him to turn up.
It's fine.
Because we're not stupid.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think these are good arms. These are not good arms at all.
No, but they're the arms you've got.
They're the arms we've got. This character's supposed to look dumb, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay.
Oh dear. Can Arasha tip $2 saying, "Does streaming casual conversation with your friends ever feel like your privacy is being violated?"
No, because we know what we don't talk about.
But
Things that are private.
I know that Joe is live, and I know what Joe's boundaries are. You know, there are things that I will talk to Joe in private about that I won't talk to Joe on stream about.
Yeah, and we know to like let each other know if we start approaching something that we didn't realize was going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, me and Joe have known each other for years at this point, so
yeah.
My last season ending was very incredible. Oh, thank you. I am going to Google some calligraphy for May, see if I can just copy some of that. Or at least edit it. Oh, that's not what I had in mind. Okay. That's very pretty, but also not what I had in mind. Okay.
I'm gonna take a second and look at the comments on the latest episode to see if there's anything wild about the world border in there. I don't normally put out episodes on Wednesday morning, but like I said, I felt like this one was a race. Oh,
that's fair.
Also, Cleo, I have way too many axolotls. Because it turns out that my thinking cave is an accidental axolotl spawn or something.
Oh dear.
So, like, while I was just putting in the wordles, like, something like 20 of them spawned. I only bothered to get, like, 16. But, like, if you wanted to open an axolotl shop and needed somebody to source axolotls from,
I will know where you are, but
yeah, I put out a general call to the group to see if anyone
anyone wants an axolotl.
Yeah, but I figured I should mention that to you specifically.
Thank you, Joe.
You're
I
welcome.
don't even have like any ideas what I would do for a shop. So
See, that's the thing is I'm at the point in my not word map, roadmap.
Wordle,
Oh my
roadmap.
gosh, I've been making Wordle puns so much the last week. I'm like just putting word at the beginning of things. Uh, Dottie Matrix says axolotl adoption agency. Yeah, maybe I okay. So here's what I'm kind of thinking, Cleo. Can I bounce an idea off you for if nobody
Of
bites,
course,
if nobody else
of
wants to
course.
make the shop with me? My plan
I'll
was
make the shop with you if you want.
okay. Well, here's a mechanism by which we might do that. This is my basically my fallback for if nobody wanted to do the shop was I was gonna make a basically pixel perfect axolotl bucket stall in the new shopping area, which I think False showed the location of in her April Fool's video. So that's not a spoiler for us to talk about. And it'll just basically be pixel art of an axolotl with a bucket and like a chest full of buckets of axolotls. Um, and it'll be and I was thinking it would be like axolotl grab bag, take any axolotl 3 diamonds, but you don't know what color it is or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I would have people then like when I don't have any sales or whatever, I would bring in other people and be like, my axolotl grab bucket shop isn't working. And then like people could help me iterate the idea. Kind of how I've been iterating the house. But like
Right.
you know, Joe, if you had like separate chests for blue axolotls or orange axolotls or yellow or whatever, or babies, people might be more likely to buy them than if it's random. Or you could change the look of the shop to not just be the pixel art from the game and that sort of thing. Would you rather jump in on something like that, or would you rather do something from the ground up?
No, I jump in with iteration if you've already got like stuff in your brain.
Well, I do, but that's like I said, that's kind of my fallback for if you know, because if Pearl or Gem was like, oh my god, I've been designing a 3D axolotl that I wanted to make a shop out of, but I don't know where to get them to sell. Like,
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, no, whatever. Whenever you want me to jump in, just give me a shout.
cool. Because yeah, I do need to reinstall Windows before I really get too deep into that. What I figure I'll do is from my I want to record a segment where I show like, hey, here's where I'm getting these axolotls from. I'm gonna go build the basic shop or whatever, and then if I have unexpected long-term computer downtime, like the Windows reinstall goes sideways or something, on my laptop I can still be capturing more axolotls underneath my house in the cave in the meantime.
Yeah.
So I could be making progress on the shop by just grinding inventory, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I won't be completely annoyed that I'm behind.
I did a pretty.
Woo, pretty.
I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of that.
That actually does look really good.
Yay! And it's shiny. I don't know if the light will catch it. There you go. It's shiny and gold. Gold.
Ooh. Highly reflective.
Very reflective. That's just who we are.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Everyone's going, it's so pretty, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I tried really hard on it. You saw how hard I tried. Meow. But meow though. Meow. Super pretty. Thank you. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
To be told
Porka
it's
says
pretty.
rebuilding a computer is always such a pain. Yeah. I also need to swap out the power supply, and also the case is bent, and I need to probably remove the motherboard in order to safely bend the case back. Or buy a new case. Because at the point where I'm pulling out the motherboard, anyway, it kind of feels like just buy a new case, and then because the case is 12 years old or so, or 10 years old. Yeah, there's basically, I think I can fix the driver's issues if I can just get Windows reinstalled. But also, in the long term, my power supply is a decade old and needs to be replaced sooner or later. So it kind of feels like if I'm going to have maintenance downtime either way, the motherboard'll, yeah, that one. Let's see. Riven Rhyme says, I'm really enjoying the iterative building process. Yeah, I found that that's been really cool. I've gotten a lot of positive comments from the viewers because they're like, I like that we get to see how like Scar and B-dubs and Gem and whatnot all think about projects, because a lot of times when they build things, you know, they've got it kind of so pre-planned that we don't get to see them reasoning through it initially. Whereas when they're looking at my projects, you get to see the beginning of their process, which doesn't always show up in videos too often.
How do we stay on topic? Arguably we don't stay on topic.
That's the benefit of this show going on for so long. We don't need to stay on topic. We'll eventually get back to anything. That's important. Oh boy.
And many things that aren't. I like Wednesdays. Wednesdays are my days to hang out with people I like. So.
Ooh, Juniper Willows suggests the name Surprise-a-Lotl for the shop. But you know what? How about this? Because it's a mix of axolotls. It's like a grab bag. Mix-a-lotl for the initial for the initial shop. Mix-a-lotl.
I like that.
Sir Mix-a-Lotl.
Sir Mix-a-Lotl.
Because there is a
like
well, I'm not actually going to do that because there's a DJ named Sir Mix-a-Lot, but
oh, I'm aware. I'm older than you are. I know.
Okay, fine. Well, but not everybody in the chat knows. Bronze in the Blue says, I died laughing at the world border breaking in your video. It was hilarious. Thank you. Thank you. I am so fortunate I was able to capture that on film. That really made the video. In my opinion.
It was definitely a moment.
Badger Spanner suggests Baby Got Baxolotl at the same time that Dottie Matrix suggested it.
Well, that's a genius.
That's pretty good.
Baby Got Baxolotl.
And that could be where we put only the babies. The baby axolotls go in that one.
Perfect.
Is there like a name tag thing you can do with baby animals to keep them babies for like?
No.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but no.
Axolotl little things.
Littles.
Axolittles? Oh my god. Meep Cube suggests the Water Kitten Adoption Agency. That's also adorable.
We should pre-name these things.
Eloquent so or not says, wait, I thought you had just run a command to move it as part of the story. That wasn't me.
No.
And I'm so glad it wasn't me, because it might get... Like, honestly, here's the thing, is if it gets moved back after the meeting, I'm going to come back there and film again and be like, now that we've removed the Wordles, nature is healing. No, my original plan was to come back a day later and have doubled all the Wordles in size and go, oh no, they're leeching energy off the world border. That can't possibly be safe. You know, at this rate of growth, they'll hit the sky limit in 2 days, or in, a week or something.
But, oh no.
But yeah, nature is healing is gonna be... honestly, that's just one of those things that's so overused. I love it. But okay.
Ah, dear. Wordle's big instead of moon big.
You axolotl questions.
Oh God, it's quite good. I like that one.
That could be my my feedback box.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all
We
should seriously watch this next video. The only thing I apologize for is I couldn't get rid of Scar's murderous intent klaxon. I think he was leaning on something on his soundboard, but we had spent so long trying to get our schedules aligned. I was just like, oh, I'm sure I can edit that out in post. I'm not even gonna interrupt him. Let's just get this clip that we've been like, because he was supposed to come over to talk about the dead tree like 2 weeks ago, but then he had a bunch of stuff going on at home, and then the April Fool's thing happened, and it's like, we're doing it. We're getting this segment.
Getting it done.
Yeah. Elizabeth Fahey says, Joe, every time I pull your stream up, my husband from the other room will ask, is that Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee? Real loud. It happens a lot. Oh, yeah, one of my friends from high school was telling me that he was at work, and one of his coworkers was complaining, like, I hate TV for kids these days. When I was a kid, we had real cartoons like Transformers, but now all my kid wants to watch is these stupid Minecraft videos. And so my friend goes, he doesn't happen to watch Joe Hills by any chance, does he? And then the grumpy coworker's like, no, I don't even, what's a Joe Hills? And then somebody else, like, rounds the corner, like, grabbing the door frame and goes, howdy, y'all, Joe Hills here! And my friend is like, that's more what I was expecting, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not universally known, but...
It's known enough that people know your name.
When people hear my name out of context, walking down a hallway in a workplace, they will yell that.
Oh dear.
Okay. So I want to try just doing some smaller scale little drawings here. So if this is the size of the head on the big one, let's scale that on down here.
It's the one thing I miss about having a workplace.
Oh yeah. Little random
I mean,
conversations.
like the random people from like being cool. That I miss. I don't miss anything else.
Yeah.
Nothing. Thank you. Can I just point out, thank you everybody for letting me be able to do this for a living. It's appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have made my life better.
Oh boy.
You just have made my life better. Nothing else. Just that's it. That's it. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry. People are like, Joe, the cat's out of frame again. It's like, womp womp. What I should do is I bet there's a way
you should just move
to
the
move
camera
the
down a
camera.
little bit.
Hold on. If you get motion sick, this is probably not going to be optimal for you.
Focus on the zombie Cleo stream.
Focus on the
down
zombie.
in the corner.
Okay. I think. See, now it's that's the edge of the table there. So let's tweak that a little bit more. Okay. That should be more natural. It's not angled properly.
Thank you for the biddies. It's appreciated. Oh, no. There. Gotta get a knife. Knife.
Camera moving adventure. Woo!
I mean, to be fair, this does seem to be a problem all the time.
Yeah.
Where you're slightly off frame.
Well,
so moving the camera is probably smart.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, like, I'm really, like, now that I've got one good camera, like, the new face cam is actually, like, a 4K face cam.
Jesus.
And, oh my gosh, when we hit the Beetlejuice, like, the, it's legitimately terrifying. Like, that level of detail combined with that visual effect is let's say, unnerving, which is really what I was going for in the first place. I just never expected. I didn't know it was the technology that was holding me back, or I would have invested in this earlier.
Of course.
But
Of course.
yeah.
I had problems getting my camera to work, and then like that conversation that we keep on having is this sort of like redundancy. Because I nearly called out this is why I was so late talking to you, because I'm normally talking to you beforehand. But yeah, the redundancy conversation keeps on going in my head every time I have a malfunction of some description.
Well, and that's the thing.
And then I forget about it.
Well, that was the thing with this Windows glitch, is I was just like, if I had a second, like, if I had
for the biddies.
If I had a second gaming PC, I could actually record at 4. I could, so with the current graphics card, the new one I just got, I can either record at 4K or play at 4K. But doing both, I just can't quite do. And I was like, okay, so if I basically saved up for a second of this computer, or I wait a year, which is more plausible, because actually I'm describing the same process, probably. Let's say in a year the 40 series comes out, right? And around then I get a second computer like this, with like basically the intention that one of them, when everything's working fine, one of them is the recording, or one of them is the gaming PC and one of them is the capture and broadcast PC. But they're both spec'd out so that they can do like 1440 streaming and recording alone.
Right.
But when I've got them linked up, I can do 4K streaming and recording.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's a good way to have like a redundancy system, that I'm not just wasting a computer sitting on a shelf 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'm going to be working toward. But I think the thing that makes the most sense is going to be to wait until the 40 series comes out in the back half of this year on the graphics cards. So that's not a rush thing. But like, yeah, finding out like, oh man, I need to record the end of this episode and I need to reinstall Windows at the same time. Those are not two priorities I want to have competing.
No.
You know? That was not a fun day yesterday in that way.
It didn't sound fun.
No. Other parts of yesterday were fun, but not that part.
Okay. How many weeks in May? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was gonna say, I know this one, but I absolutely don't know this one.
There are 6 if you start on a Monday, because the 1st is a Sunday, and my birthday is a Monday. Yay!
In the UK, do you start your
where I had my
on Sunday or Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
I've missed, due to COVID, the weekend birthdays from last 2 years. Yes. I mean, not that it matters anymore, but it used to. When I was teaching. One, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5. Okay. 30th, 23rd, 16th, 9th, 2nd. Amber Wood, resubscribe for 12 months. A year already. It has been a year. It has.
Yep. Remington Norris says it doesn't solve the redundancy issue, but usually just getting a 4K capture card is the easiest way to play and record in 4K. Well, the thing is, though, that the 4K capture card... so the video encoding... boy.
I don't know what you're trying to say, otherwise it'd help.
Yeah, like, if you're saying just have the video come out the video card slot and then back into the same computer, the problem is that the 4K capture card, at least the one I have, doesn't completely handle all the encoding. Some of the encoding is still done on the video card, and the video card, I've tried tasking it with rendering the game and rendering video at 4K at the same time, and that is too much. Like, it's barely too much. That's what's frustrating. But I'm like, this is almost a good enough graphics card to just do all of this on one computer, but not quite. But I am thinking, once I get everything completely going, I'm thinking I'm gonna update my. I'm gonna start doing all my video, once I get the desktop completely up and running, I'm gonna start doing all my videos in 1440 at least.
Thank you for the biddies, McLeslie. Appreciated.
Because like phones and tablets these days are just so much more high resolution than when we started. In fact, I don't think a lot of people watched videos on their phones when we started.
I don't think so.
Not
no.
like today.
We started back in the day.
Yeah, back in 2011. I mean, I think I had an iPhone 3GS at that point, which didn't have like the biggest screen.
Yeah, I don't think I was even on a smartphone at that point. Never saw the point of a smartphone, to be honest. until I got one, and then I went, oh, video, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking of trying to break things out into having a separate work phone. From my main phone, because one of the problems I have, and you are also in a long distance relationship, so you might recognize this, is it's hard to check out from all the stuff on the internet if you also use the internet to talk to your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so like having like having a separate device that I get my work emails on, and like my contractor stuff and stuff like that, my freelance work and all that, and then I could just put that device away but still use the personal one to talk to people, like when I'm hanging out with friends, because like with the pandemic, people aren't traveling as much either.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I mean, it would be nice for me to have a device that was purely personal, but I don't think I'm ever going to do that, because all of my contacts for my personal people are now via Discord.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's one of the things too, is I was like, would I create a separate Discord account? Or because I guess I would need the Discord app on both phones, because that's how I keep up with my friends. And so like, for example, like for my contractor work, I do stuff via Outlook.
Yeah.
And I don't need Outlook on my personal phone. Yeah.
Me and Joe are not dating.
Or at least not dating each other.
No, yeah, that's true. We are dating, but not each other.
Let's see. Badger says, is your iPhone a dual SIM one? You could add another one and add another SIM and turn it off. Well, the thing is, it's not that I'm getting a lot of my contacts via text message or phone call. Like with the dual SIM, that's nice, because you're right, you could turn off the one phone number. It's more like I want to have a phone that doesn't have overlapping applications, like not having Outlook on both phones. Right? Would make sense.
Yeah. That would make sense, yeah. Cleo is in a relationship. I love that Cam's just sitting here watching all this happen. It's just sort of like... Okay. That's done. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Do the Discord terms of
like
service even let you have more than one account?
I think so, yeah. You're allowed to run more than one account. I think they have the ability to switch through them. Yeah.
Yeah, because I use Discord to keep up with like Gordon, who I play mini golf with in VR and stuff, and like, so being able to do that but not be logged into my work Discords, would be helpful.
I feel like I want to be extra. I mean, just in life, not anything particularly.
That's the wrong size cat head for that body.
No such thing.
This one looks like the medicine man from Ghostbuster got me.
I'm really tempted to use like different colored washi tape for like the date bar.
Yeah. Nando says on some phones you can make 2 separate accounts on your phone with separate apps. That might be true, but at the same time, I don't think that solves my problem. Like, I want to be able to have more of a clean break between when I'm working and when I'm not. I want to be able to put I want to be able, like, the thing is I still need a work phone in order to be able to travel and go to conventions and do a lot of things like that. I can't not have a work phone. But I need to be able to put the work phone in a drawer when I'm not working and have that kind of be separate, I think. Another JT says the main problem with having separate phones is then you have to keep track of 2 phones. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, for me that would probably.
That's actually the biggest hurdle, I think. Because like they don't both have to be good phones either. Like, what I probably would do is I would just replace them in an offset cycle, right? Or I would probably have my personal phone is always the better phone, and then like every time I replace, and then so if I replace my phone sometimes I replace my phone every 4 or 5 years, but if I switched it to replacing it every 3 years, then I'm actually due for a replacement soon, and I would take my existing phone that still works and make that my work phone. That would be how I would do it.
That makes sense.
If I don't need work FaceTime, you could just get a cheaper Android. Sometimes it's one of those things that comes up just often enough. Well, and the other thing is buying a cheaper Android is now I have to learn 2 operating systems, and I'd rather learn fewer operating systems. I'd rather just replace my new iPhone a year or 2 early instead of replacing it every 5 years. That feels about right to me.
Yeah.
And then also
the problem with
go on.
I was gonna say no. You're continuing a sentence.
Well, I was gonna say maybe I should make the work phone the new one though, so then it's a business expense. I don't.
Possible too. I don't know.
But I'd rather have the good camera for taking pictures of my kid. Like, so I think I'd rather pay the taxes than not have the better camera, because like especially for every October we get to like Halloween stuff where we start going out to like late night pumpkin patch stuff and hay rides and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get the new phone now because the low light sensor that's the number one thing that motivates me to buy a new phone. Is every 4 or 5 years we get to Halloween and I see pictures that other parents are taking of their kids, because like we'll go to these things in groups, right? And they've got the latest phone, and mine's now 4 or 5 years old, and we're taking pictures in the exact same lighting conditions, and I'm like, yeah, it's time, right?
Yeah, it's time for a new one. Yeah.
So.
I mean, what I was going to say is that like having one Discord is a problem, specifically because, for example, I was playing D&D because I play D&D via the internet with my friends. And something happened in Hermitcraft that I had to deal with, and it really threw off my mood because I got cranky, and you know, and I had to, and it was just like, sorry guys, I have to go and deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up having to cut my D&D. I went back to my D&D session afterwards, and you know, but I didn't feel the same afterwards. I was still annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to separate your work and your life is a huge thing, and I wasn't able to at that point because Discord is the same for my friends and my work.
Yeah.
So
And that's one of the things that I think I've really gotten out of having the VR headset is even though we use Discord to organize when we're going to play mini golf, once we're actually headsets on playing golf, we're using in-game chat.
yeah.
And I don't hear or see any Discord notifications. So if something blows up, in some ways, I'm more away from my computer than I am if I'm actually out playing mini golf. Because if I'm out playing mini golf, I might get the notification on my watch. But when I'm in VR mini golf, I can't see my watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so it really helps me kind of feel disconnected. And so I'm trying to figure out kind of how to take the things I like about that and make it bigger. And I actually hired I didn't hire a new person. I promoted one of my mod team to be a community liaison and kind of deal with things as they come up so that I don't have to.
Yep.
It's not that I don't ever have to deal with them. It's that I will deal with them at the appropriate time.
Mm-hmm.
This person will let people know, okay, we hear you. It's going in the hopper, or it's going to go on the agenda for a meeting. Joe is going to talk about this publicly, but not at 2 a.m., right?
No. Yeah.
And so, like, now that I have that person in place, it's time for me to start taking advantage of that by...
Yeah.
Gemini Tay says, big recommend muting the heck out of the Hermit Discord and then only unmuting when working. Yeah, but if I had done that, I would have missed the world border change. Like,
yeah,
like that made my episode, and that's the real hard thing. Well, and technically, and I will say technically that was during my work hours. I just wasn't at the recording computer. I was doing like administrative stuff. I think I was working on. I think I was working on getting my quarterly taxes filed, which I have now done, despite the interruption. And honestly, that's the biggest single check that's the 4 biggest single checks I write a year.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. Yeah.
And so it always makes me nervous. Like, I don't know. It's like, and that's one of those things that you can't miss either, right? So I'm always like, you know, what if it doesn't go through? It's like, okay, so technically it's not due till the 18th, but you know, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it with the direct deposit system 2 weeks in advance. So if there's a problem with the bank or the direct deposit, I still have time to get like a cashier's check mailed to the IRS or something. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
But yeah, so yeah, having it muted when I'm not in work hours is definitely something I need to do a better job of.
Yeah, my problem is I would never unmute it. So
yeah, no, you're actually right though. Is that I would forget, and I don't know. I think just having the separate device and you know what, and I think the biggest upshot of this in some ways is that the alerts wouldn't go to my watch for work stuff at that point. Yeah, that's a huge upshot. Somebody says, I just returned. That's a fancy cat. Thank you.
Yeah. He is a very fancy cat. He is very flash.
Okay. So, Jem, if you're still watching, I apologize if I initially seemed to dismiss your idea. Sometimes that's how I talk myself into something. And you're right. And I appreciate your suggestion.
Take that and run, Jem. You're right. Joe said you were right.
Well, I mean, Jem's right about things all the time without my validation. You don't need to take that and run. You can just enjoy being part of a larger tapestry of being correct that you already are part of. So, I don't know.
Oh, Joe. What are we going to do with you?
Jem says, I don't mind. Oh, I'm glad. Sorry, yeah, and this is actually one of the reasons that I needed to hire the community manager, is because people had a real problem with me talking myself through ideas, starting with no, because it sounded like I was shutting them down, and I was trying to, sometimes I was, but sometimes I was trying to explore the space, and it didn't work at scale.
No.
You know?
It's a very you thing to do. Just start with no and then go, actually, yes.
Yeah, well, and I just like to reason through things and
yeah,
like,
I know.
And a lot of times when the answer was a hard, immediate no, it was no, I don't have time to think about this, not no, this is a bad idea.
I get you.
If I say no, I don't have time to think about this, then I don't have time to think about this. But if I say no, this is a bad idea, then a lot of times I'm like, but it's almost a good idea. What could we tweak about it? Or what could we change about other ideas? Maybe this idea could stand on its own if I change something about my recording schedule or blah, blah, blah. Like, but the thing is, people hearing both no's came across as too much of a wall. Whereas, it's like hiring or promoting one of my moderators to basically be in charge of saying, Joe will consider this at the appropriate time in a public forum. And that completely removes the no, I don't have time to think about this, because I explicitly do have time to think about this. We have scheduled community meetings every quarter where I'll just go through this entire hopper of all these suggestions and talk about them, right? And then, and everybody who can't make that meeting, well, it's going to be recorded, and there's going to be minutes in the community newsletter, and, that sort of thing. So nobody has to worry, like, oh, is some decision that's important to the community going to be made at 2 a.m. when somebody makes a suggestion to Joe on a random night? Like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Well, and the weird thing is, what are work hours? If I'm up until 2 a.m. editing a video, and I'm like waiting for it to encode so I can start the upload, technically for me, that's a work hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not.
And so,
I've been there.
So it's like, okay, I've got 7 minutes until this video encodes. Let's see what the Discord's talking about. Oh, they want to change the structure of some of the categories. Let me jump in on that while I wait for this video to encode. And then...
Bad idea. Alert.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is why we offload things to trusted people so that we can address them at the right time.
Mods are invaluable.
Gemini Tay says 2 a.m. OMG. Well, the problem is I kind of, in a lot of ways, it's easiest for me to get work done when my daughter's asleep, because when she's awake, I want to hang out with her, and so that doesn't always work optimally. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, okay, well, there's a new Disney movie, let's rent it or whatever, and then I fall asleep in the recliner, but like, I wasn't sitting there working during it, at least. I don't know.
I think, like, for me, people always say, you work at 2 a.m. I'm like, yeah, but I can't work in the mornings. I find it really... I find work, and this has been true for my entire life. When I worked at schools, regardless, I really struggle to function in the mornings. If you wake me up at 7 and expect me to do stuff, I will do it, and I'll probably do it well. But my brain doesn't turn on until 7 in the afternoon. So... Yeah.
Well, and for me, because of my digestive issues... slowing down my cognition, I do better when I haven't eaten for like 6 to 8 hours. And it's like, well, if I eat breakfast at 8 a.m., lunch at noon, and dinner at around 5, then okay, when is 8 hours since my last meal? 2 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, Hunter Colony says that does that mean you get significantly less sleep than your daughter? Yeah, she goes to bed at 8 and wakes up at 6. And you might say, does a kid
Which
really
is
need
correct.
does a kid really need that much sleep? Well, she's one of the
Yes.
tallest kids in her class, and she's also one of the ones that has a defined bedtime. You know, it's like, how come the other kids don't have defined bedtimes? It's like, well, their parents don't work at 8:30 at night and need that half hour to get ready for work, because that's when I do my streams, you know.
But
And
also, kids that age need appropriate times to sleep. Like, you should, like, if kids your like, there are kids your kids age where that will come up and say, I'm so tired, when did you go to bed? Oh, well, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, well, you need to go to bed earlier. And they're just like, yeah, but my mum says I can stay up. And I'm like, that's irrelevant.
yeah.
That's irrelevant.
Real quick, I got a tip rolling in from Marin for 11. That's going to get us our next face camera expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to grow hills in high definition. Look at these glasses. Look at these glasses in high definition. Wow.
Thank you, Nox Lullaby, who has resubscribed for 11 months. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Jem says, I love hearing other people's schedules. It's cool. Yeah, it's really, I think, important as somebody who is creative to kind of have some... You need flexibility in your schedule, but you also need to have, like, sane defaults, right? So, like, if nothing else is going on, this is my schedule. But then I've got time and buffers built in to move things around, you know? Because, like, recording sessions... You know, well, if I have to wake up at 5 a.m. to record with Corrales, I'm setting an alarm. I'm going to go back to bed, or probably wouldn't go back to bed at that point. I might go sit in the living room in the recliner until it's actually time to take my daughter to school at that point, take a quick nap. But, like, you know, that's
to be fair,
part of the job. But
Corrales is more on your time than he is on his own time.
Well, the thing with Corrales, though, is when he's awake, when I'm streaming, he's usually on his laptop on his couch in his living room, and he doesn't have a mic on that.
Thank you, like, Becca, for resubscribing for 13 months. Appreciated.
Like, he's in building mode. Like, that's when he places all those blocks, you know?
Yep.
Not
when do you have time to do this? When I'm, like, half asleep on my laptop?
Somebody says, Joe, you learned Swedish at 5 a.m. I think that was closer to 8 a.m. But sometimes, yeah, in order to coordinate stuff like this, you know, you just wake up when people are awake. Because, like, so this is one of those things that's kind of weird, but there's a lot of differences between being a single parent and being a married parent. And one of the differences is that Corrales has one more person whose schedule he has to account for, right? So if Corrales has 2 kids and 1 wife whose schedule he has to work around in addition to his own, and I have 1 kid, I need to be understanding that he's juggling 4 people's schedules and I'm juggling 2 people's schedules. And if that means me waking up at 5 a.m., that means sometimes you wake up at 5 a.m. That's not like an all the time thing. That's like once or twice a year for Corrales in particular. I mean, I wake up at 5 a.m. for other things like the Hermitcraft stream days, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, for a long time, my kid was too small to sit quietly for 2 hours while I did the stream days. She's not now. Now I can make her a bowl of popcorn and she'll watch it from the couch in the living room. But it used to be that I would do the stream days from like 4 to 6 a.m. and then she would wake up at 6 and then I would make her breakfast. And that way I got to be part of the stream day. But I was literally waking up at 3:30 in the morning for that. But that was the only way I could fit it. And like, I refuse, like, obviously as a parent I have to make a lot of sacrifices. I have to say no to a lot of, like, my friends keep going on these ski trips, and it's like there's no way I can do that and get my kid to school. I can't be in Colorado and here, you know, on a random weekday in February, but when there is something where it's like, okay, yeah, I change my sleep schedule a little bit, but I at least get to participate. Like, I still want to participate where I can.
Yeah. See, that's the reason that's part of the reason why kids have never appealed to me. It's just sort of like, I want to be able to do things, that I feel like I would miss out on if I was having kids,
Yeah. Well,
and
that makes
my schedule
total sense.
Yeah, my schedule is difficult enough as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine being in your position. You got my respect. I know how tough kids are.
Well, thank you, Cleo.
Well,
and
I mean, you had my respect anyway, Joe.
Oh.
Kids notwithstanding, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say, too, though, like, having pets is a similar responsibility where you can't just disappear for the weekend,
No, that's true, but it's easier to get someone to go, not that I've ever done this.
So, like, go feed your cat once a day, then...
Can you feed my cat, and then, and I'll spot you next time you're in, or something.
Yeah.
Then it is to say, could you take care of my 6-year-old?
Yeah. Can you get her to and from school on time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The answer invariably is on your bike.
Yeah. People in my chat, JKA says, what parent doesn't get significantly less sleep than their children? And Necropolis says, my kids get about 11 hours of sleep and I get about 6. Yeah, I don't know anybody who sleeps as much as their kids. Like, it's just not really feasible.
Wait till they're teenagers. You'll be able to sleep in, because they definitely will be.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess they're technically still your kids at that point, but, like, I'm talking, like, children.
Young children.
Yeah.
You see, I wouldn't mind taking care of teenagers, because, I think teenagers are cool.
They think they're cool, too. That's the problem.
I mean, the problem is that they are. They just don't realise why they're cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But the best thing about teenagers is when you do all the cool stuff they do back at them and they cringe. That's hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like, you think you're so street.
I'm streets ahead. What are you talking about?
Definitely not that, Joe. Definitely not that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're cool, Joe.
Yay.
I am a 41-year-old woman saying this to you, though, so take it with a pinch of salt. Did I say 31 or 40? I've forgotten. It's
I don't
fine.
know.
Mold. People telling me about all the pet teaching. That's cool. Take care of them pets. They'll see you right when you're in your old age, mostly. See you later, McLesley. I'm sorry for triggering your stress.
Oh no. Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, these streams are more likely to upset people than almost everything else we do, because we do talk about a lot of, like, more serious...
these are our real talk streams. Yeah.
This is...
Come back later today. I'll be screaming at Ghost. It's fine.
Yeah. One thing that I've started doing that I'm enjoying... Let's talk about something a little bit more positive.
Okay.
One thing I've started doing that I'm enjoying is I'm 2 weeks into doing a community newsletter for my Patreon.
Oh.
And I've previously been editor-in-chief of a college newspaper, so it's not like I don't know how to do this. I just don't get to do this sort of thing very often. And now I get to do it every week. So I've got one of my staff members helping me out with that. The same person who's actually taking over the community liaison role. And so that's great, because, this person is now helping me communicate with the community better by
Good,
like,
good.
because like even though I'm capable of editing the newspaper from an editorial standpoint, there's a knowing your audience element, right? Where you
Yeah.
and so having that person helping me with the newsletter, making sure like anything the community would care about gets included, and that my self-indulgent stuff gets pushed to the bottom, you know. Like, hey, I read a book called Age of Ash. It's really great if you like the stuff, if you like fantasy novels and the Baltimore segments in The Expanse, which is probably only me. But I really liked those things, and they were in this book a lot. So if there's overlap, go buy it, you know? That sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear.
But yeah, do you
I mean, there's things.
do you do anything like
Sorry?
that? Do you have any like any like newsletter or something that you write to the community
I
in a
did
structured way?
send. I started sending out a newsletter like a while ago, and then I realised that it wasn't getting to my patrons, and I could never figure out why. So I stopped. So I'm gonna have to. I'll have another look at it again.
Okay,
But,
so if it helps, I'm not actually sending it through Patreon. I'm putting it up on my website and then posting the link on the Discord and like in Twitch chat. The day
I
it comes
don't
out.
have a website. That's the thing that I should do, but I don't know what I would put on a website.
Okay, so here's the fun part, Cleo. My website, and like I'm a professional web developer. Like this is a lot of what my contractor work is in systems administration and web development. And my website is a stock install of WordPress with one of the default themes. And it's great because anytime any other web developer sees my website, they just laugh. Because there's like, yep, that's the website of somebody who builds websites for a living. It's kind of like an in-joke to them. But it doesn't look miserably bad to an untrained observer. Here, let me. Do you mind if I post a link in your chat?
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah,
You've always got permission.
Just joehills.net, which I needed anyway, so I could get the email joe@joehills.net. So it's a picture of the grass being greener on the other side at the top that I took at a racetrack. That's a photograph I took that I liked. I'm just like, here's one of my favorite pictures ever. This was my iPhone background for a long time. And so I see.
Oh, I see.
Yep. And then if you scroll down, I've got newsletter to newsletter. I've got poetry, but basically this site just exists so that if somebody gets an email from me, they can be like, "Is this a real person?" And then, okay, yeah, it is.
Wow, that's it's a chill website. I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you for making it chill.
But yeah, this is literally stock WordPress. This is I have changed a few colors on like the headings of the newsletter. I chose and uploaded a fave icon and a background photo. I've got two twice in the home section. Honestly, I don't care. Yeah, my introduction. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here. I make things I like, and I hope you like them too. If not, I encourage you to develop other hobbies like gardening or making things you enjoy. That's
a very Joe Hill statement.
But like, this is the thing: is you don't need a perfect website to publish a newsletter. You know, and
that's true.
But yeah, so
put it on the list of things I need to get done.
Yeah.
Oh dear, no. I've been meaning to do it for ages, but I just never have. But when you put things like that, it seems like a good idea. You don't check the lists I make for you. No, but you bug me about things that are on the lists, and then they actually get done compared to the fact that, you know, when I don't have lists anywhere or someone to bug me, nothing gets done. Your lists are a case of eventually it will get done, My lists are a case of I'm never going to look at this again. That's the difference.
Oh, you know what? There is. I accidentally did repeat the word "to" in the home, and I set this
Yeah.
website up in like 2013. No, that can't be right. 2015, 2017. I think 2017 is the name of the WordPress theme. So I set this up in 5 years ago, and I'm just now realizing that apparently I I have the word "to" twice in the intro paragraph. Womp womp. The computer I would fix that on is in the other room. Cleo, I'm going to do a quick... I need to refill my drink anyway, so I'm going to go get the laptop so I can fix that change.
Go on.
If you want to field some questions, I'll be right back.
I can field questions, but I don't have Joe's chat open, so let me get that done. Hang on. Where do I make the chat window pop in? Come on, pop in. No, that's decided it's not going to. It's not letting me see the chat. Oh, it's asking me to report Joe Hills. That'd be hilarious. Okay. Right, Joe's chat. Ask me stuff. There we go. What am I making? This is my bullet journal. I am making a mess. This is my calendar page for May. And I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I've got 2 13s. Okay. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. What's Joe's favourite animal? Mongoose. I'm assuming. Seems like a mongoose person. What's Joe's favourite number? But probably something irrational. Just as a general rule. Has Joe ever personally met death? Not personally, but that's something that you do in any day job eventually. What's Joe's favourite question to misinterpret? I don't think Joe enjoys misinterpreting things. That doesn't seem like his character type at all. What do you think, Joe? Do you think the first thing Joe did when he discovered the world border could be moved so easily? Panic. That's literally what he did. He panicked. He's sort of like, wait, they're just going to move the world border? And, yep. He went, I actually need to go and do a thing. I was working at the world border for a reason. Joe's favourite number is 20 since it modifies his webcam. That seems legit. If you would like to tip Joe Hills, please go do that. He would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. It's very nice. What's your favourite drawing from your bullet journal so far? I don't really have a favourite. I mean, they're all kind of pretty. I did like the jellyfish. But on that note, I also liked the plants. So, oh no, my favorite. I know what my favorite drawing is. My favorite drawing is Oola. Why am I so sweet? No, thank you. How did you have you heard Joe's answer to the question? How did you join Hermitcraft? No, I haven't. But I know how he joined Hermitcraft.
I think you know
Caps
about
Lock
that, right?
For 9 months. What?
You know about the coup, right?
I remember you saying something about a coup. I don't remember you telling me anything specific about it.
Oh, I just figured you had heard this story at some point.
No?
Oh, okay. So
I'll be honest, people don't tell me about things that happened at Hermitcraft during the before times.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So Unless you need to take a quick drink refill break.
No. You go ahead, Joe.
Oh, okay. So basically, we had it narrowed down to like 4 seeds, and we had a list of people we wanted to have join the server.
Yeah.
But nobody felt comfortable defining a process to move forward.
Okay.
Or taking charge.
And that sounds like Hermitcraft, yeah.
Right. Because this was the first time we were resetting the server ever, and Generic B had left, right? Who was the founder, and he had previously just made all the decisions by fiat. And I was like, okay.
This is also why people don't talk about it.
I know we all set aside time this weekend to record the new server launch, but we don't have a seed yet.
Right.
Most people seem generally okay with all 3 seeds, or 4 seeds or whatever. Although it seems like slightly more people want this one. So here's what I'm going to propose we do. If nobody says no to me in the next 24 hours, I'm going to call this a coup, where I pick the seed that's slightly more popular, and then we all invite everyone on that list because nobody has raised any concerns about them yet. If you have concerns about them, raise them now. Otherwise, I'm picking the seed and we're inviting these people. If anyone objects to this in any way, please say so in between now and when the server launches, and I will voluntarily give up this power that I have seized. And that's how we got the seed. And that's how we got the invites done. And that's how we launched season 2.
I was invited because you started a coup.
No, I executed a coup. I didn't just start.
You know what?
I mean, in fairness,
like
you weren't the only person
to
invited because of the coup. It wasn't like I staged the coup to invite you. I don't want you to feel singled out.
Oh, no. Mumbo was there as well.
Yeah.
It was me and Mumbo you invited. Did you actually invite Mumbo, or did somebody else invite Mumbo? Because I know you invited me.
Somebody else sent Mumbo the invite, but they didn't feel comfortable moving forward without group approval, and the group didn't know how to approve it.
Wow. The way things change. Dear God.
Yeah.
Now we're just plagued by indecision most days.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need a coup.
Well, honestly, I found the latest, hey, let's wait till Asuma's not paying attention and then tell the server operators what to do thing really refreshing.
Oh.
Same energy, right? I mean, the difference is, though, I did say, y'all have 24 hours to object to what I'm proposing, and if anybody does object, I won't follow through on it. Yeah.
I want a coup.
Yeah, and I told the recap guys this story once, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing. Of course we can't use it because it's not public knowledge." And I'm like, I tell this story on stream all the time. I'm like, I mean, it might not be in anybody's videos because there was part of it too was I explicitly said I am seizing power because we were 24 hours until the server was like we had agreed to start the recording. And I was saying, like, the second we start recording, I've stepped down.
Yeah.
Like, I am not in charge of the season. I am not in charge of the recordings. I am not in charge of anything. I am saying we don't have a mechanism to pick the seed and invite people, and I will be that mechanism.
Unless you say no.
Unless you say no.
It's happening.
But
which, you know, is the most benign flipping coup I've ever heard of.
Well, because really, you know, if somebody else had just said, well, because, like, it's like, well, we tried doing votes, but not everybody was there, and we tried doing this, and that didn't, like, we couldn't get buy-in from anybody to any particular system. And as you've seen, we still don't. We're loosely consensus driven.
Very loosely at the moment.
Yeah. So
what we need like is like, we're going to discuss it this week, and next week we're going to vote on it. So you have 2 opportunities to come and be heard. Don't want to hear anything about it outside of meetings.
well, the problem
It's on the list, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is, though, for people who can't make the meetings, it's like, we try and tell them, like, well, proxy, tell somebody else to do something.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, I think that's something we need to just say, like, if you're not on the meeting or you haven't sent a proxy, you don't care enough.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to implement, because I am so tired of second guessing,
I mean, honestly, the only thing that I really strongly cared about with this season launch was that it did launch, and now that it has launched, I'm just good with whatever, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I probably talk more than I should for somebody who's good with whatever, but like I do want to help brainstorm if I can,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What happened to Monkey Farm? I don't know.
I don't know.
Monkey Farm wasn't, in a circle of friends.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody asked me what happened to Joe in like 10 years' time, I would go, I killed him. Because, statistics and all that.
Well, or if somebody asked you during season 3 what happened to Joe, you'd be like, well, he just had a kid and he just moved and he's busy. Like, you could have answered that.
I could have done, but,
chose not to.
I killed him. I mean, to be fair, people didn't really ask me about what happened to Joe because you were still around, technically.
Yeah, I just wasn't around too often. Or as much.
Weren't around mentally.
I wasn't very active.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Cleo's a time traveler. Yeah, well, someone's got to do it.
Anira says, I find it sad that HHH is always so few people. Can I talk a bit about what's going on there? It's hard to get all of us in one place once a week for our weekly meetings. We usually only get like half to 2/3 of the hermits at those. And so having a second time that we tried to pick for people to be available, we're lucky to get a 5th of the hermits there. It's just a lot of it's scheduling. And I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It's just like people have lives, and like a lot of the hermits don't stream like at all, and those people are not going to, necessarily be able to help out on a streaming thing. And they've obviously got, like, let's be honest, me and Joe make money from streaming. People who are like unmonetized and stuff, they would not, it's unfair to ask them to do extra work,
It'd be nice if they still wanted to hang out and pal around. And I'm going to be honest, when we have a really cool HHH project like Rendog's volcano biome, you get 7 to 10 people showing up. If it's let's dig a hole, that's a harder sell. And even if you look at things like Gemini Tay's sand filling thing, I think we had over the course of that like 5 or 6 people jumped in. Even Green was jumping in chat even if he wasn't there. But like that's a more exciting project than digging a hole for Jevon's sugarcane farm. So we had like twice as many people. So people are more willing to reschedule other conflicts to help out with a cooler project. And so like when Tango needed help with Decked Out, or no, it wasn't Decked Out, it was his Among Us game maybe. It was one of those. Like I think like 10 of us showed up because we appreciated what he did with Decked Out and everybody wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Anira
I think
says
with Tango's stuff, Tango didn't actually know we were coming, so.
Anira says last Monday Tango was streaming at the time HHH started and literally said, "I don't know what to do on stream today." Well, I guess he didn't read the Discord. I mean, that's up to him. I'm not responsible. Jevin said what he was doing, and that's, that's the question for him, not for me.
Yep. That's not going to work. Yeah, there's more death when people show up to HHH. Mostly mine, I've noticed.
Yeah. What about Tinfoil Chef? I don't know. I don't know his schedule. I really, y'all know more about my schedule than I know about any other hermit's schedule, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Josh says Tango has stated that he created his Monday stream slot for connecting with his community. And, okay, so...
There you go. That's an answer.
Yeah, so that makes sense that it's not a collab time slot for him. It's a direct community connection time slot. That makes sense.
What you need to remember, guys, is that we don't have the in on every single hermit's kind of lives and schedules and what they do with their community. Our problem, I think, is arguably that we're very, very open about what we do. And I don't, and how we make our decisions, but that's just me and Joe.
And I will say, for me, part of that is because I got started in this partially thanks to people being open and honest about how they built their businesses in other web storytelling stuff, like web cartoonists in particular. Who did podcasts and went to conventions and talked about how they built their business and how they structured their lives in order to accomplish their goals, were really inspiring to me when I was getting started. And I want to help other people. I can't just say, hey, go listen to this podcast from 2005 if you want to get the same start I did, because we don't live in 2005 anymore. It might be helpful for young people or aspiring artists or entrepreneurs to hear us talking about how we're dealing with these things today. And so I just think that's a value add. But if you came at this a different way, you might not think that, and it's not, I don't expect everyone to think that.
No. I think I'm at a stopping point, Joe.
Okay.
Are you going to be okay?
Honestly, I probably am ready to wrap up too. I actually do need to get that character sheet together for Saucefire. Sauce keeps saying, don't worry about it. But, also, it was due on the 1st, and it's the 6th. And, like I said, I have all the information written down on a notebook in front of me. The big thing holding me up was I didn't remember where I put this notebook. And I found it while I was setting up for this stream. So...
Well, then. It's perfect timing.
I should probably do this. Ahime says, Tango once said because he never participates in HHH, he doesn't feel like he could ask for help. I tell him constantly.
We all tell them.
I tell him.
Me and Joe. Let's put it like this. Me and Joe are the people who are basically at the moment in charge of HHH. Arguably, mostly Joe. We tell people all the time that we don't care what job they have to do. We will help them.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you've never shown up. We want to do cool. We want to help the server do cool things at scale without Tango has kids, right? I don't want Tango losing an extra 3 hours with his kid or 8 hours with his kid because he's digging a hole that we could all just knock out that afternoon palling around. That's not about reciprocation. That's just about we're all in this together, Yeah. So I don't know.
And arguably, me and Joe we've set aside this time to help other people.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I wasn't here on Monday is because I was ill.
Yeah.
So It's just frustrating when it's just sort of like, yeah, they don't feel like they can ask for help. Please ask us for help. You're not only helping yourselves, but you're also helping us, because, you know, content is nice.
Yeah.
And people like us hanging out for some reason.
I was going to say, Cleo, since you weren't as vocal during the shopping district location thing, would you like to be the
thing
one
I didn't care about?
I know. Well, and that's the thing is I don't know why I try like it's sort of thing like I didn't care like I wasn't gonna be upset either way. I was just trying to help move the conversation along, but I probably spoke more often than I should have. But it just felt like people kept getting stuck on things. And I was like, oh, if we just understood the problem better, we could solve it faster. So anyway, I don't know if Tango wants to hear from me right now. I think Tango heard enough out of me talking about that. So if you wanted to be the one to reach out to him to be like, hey, some people mentioned that you might not feel comfortable, asking for help with HHH. We explicitly do want to help you, especially with any projects you have that are going to benefit the whole group, like Decked Out 2.0 or anything like that. That might be more productive coming from you.
I will probably send that message tomorrow or something.
Yeah, no rush, but I'm just thinking through this.
Just show up to their doorstep. We're helping whether you want to or not. Yeah, it's a case of sometimes when people just show up to your door, you're not sure if you've got the stuff to be helped with.
Yeah. Like, I don't have a project right now. Like, if you were like, hey, what could you do with 8 hermits manpower for 3 hours? None of my projects require anything like that I can think of. Like, it's like, I need to design a cutaway model of a capacitor in Minecraft, but that's not... It's like, okay, well, Jevin will take on materials research and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not what HHH is, you know?
No. So. It isn't, but, it is what it is. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's time for us to go. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yep.
It's very nice.
Yeah, we're going to hop off the call so we can say goodbye to our chats individually and do our raids. But, Cleo, it's been a joy as always.
Oh, always. I'll see you later, Joe.
See you, Cleo. Bye. All right, everybody. How is it going? Mahi says Impulse has canceled 2 streams because his Wither Skeleton Farm with Tango took longer than expected. Imagine if they had asked HHH. Yeah, we would have shown up for that. Let's see who we should be rating. I'm going to go ahead and hide the Cleo camera down there as well. Now that she's wrapping up. Hey, it looks like Music Man 1017 is about to do some Minecraft speed runs. Huge fan of Music Man. Let's send y'all over there now. Popping that out. Making sure it's muted. Okay, cool. Well, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks for everybody who tipped and supported the show. Thanks to everybody for chatting or just palling around and listening, getting your own work done. Appreciate you no matter what. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.